What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Just, back in another video. This is your one-stop shop for anime and manga. Let's get into it. I want to start by saying thank you everyone for subscribing. If you're new here, you like my content, you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, hit the bell so I post no video. Also follow me on Twitter, links will be in the description. What's up, y'all? So I do these videos every now and then, and this is my reading log. Y'all know I do these every now and then, and basically I do this every time I've been reading a few new series that I really want to put y'all onto, because I'm reading manga every single day, and most of the time I'm reading basically the same stuff every day. I'm reading my Undead Unluck, my One Piece, my Mashal, just everything all the time. And now, every now and then when I start reading a few new things, I want to put y'all on, so here's my reading log. Let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is The World After the Fall. And I gotta give a shout out to my boy Michael, because he's the one that actually put me onto this series, and it's amazing. I really fell in love with it. I really do enjoy it. The World After the Fall is a manhwa series, so it obviously is full color, and you normally read it via scrolling up and down. And for this series in particular, basically what it's about, towers one day just spawn across all over the world, and basically these towers are kind of like dungeons in a way. So when these towers spawn, these monsters start coming and they start invading and killing everyone around. I believe it said, I might be a little off about this, I think it said they killed about 2 billion people in the first couple of days. Something along those lines. So basically these monsters from the towers just started killing everyone, and it was called the Tower Impact Event. And basically when that happened, a system came up around everyone, all of the people all over the world, and just said, do you want to attempt to fight the tower and save humanity, or do you want to just chill and try your best, try your luck? So a lot of the people, they chose to obviously gain some powers and basically go ahead and go and fight the monsters from the towers. Now for the ones that were brave enough to accept, they basically got like, basically normal fancy powers, enhanced strength, magical abilities, mana, things like that. Pretty normal, for any type of manga series. And they had to go and enter the tower. Now I do believe, I may be a little wrong about this, but I don't think they're able to leave the tower once they're inside. Because I do know once you enter the tower, time basically stops for them. They do not age. So some obviously floors, they take some couple months to finish. Others take 10, 15 years to finish. So for them, they never age. They always look the same, and they don't really know exactly how much time has passed. They know roughly, like, okay, it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years, but they don't know exactly what's going on in the outside world. They have no contact once they enter the tower. After that, they're trying to go ahead and clear the tower. They have to clear all 100 floors, but it's very, very hard. Most of the time you think, okay, they're fighting alongside, they're basically evenly matched. No, these monsters are insanely more powerful than the humans. Even with all of their magic and mana that they achieve, they're just not working out. Everyone is dying left and right. And that's when a few humans, they realize, they find a little stone called the regression stone. And basically what that stone does is lets them go back in time to the day that the tower was erected, with their memories intact, with their powers intact, so they can basically retry everything again. Now, here's the problem with that regression stone. When they go back in time, the present timeline that they're in, it does not change whatsoever. And they realize that, like, oh, when someone goes back in time, they're basically splitting the timeline, and they go into the different timeline, basically leaving their family and friends to fend for themselves, and just basically abandoning that original timeline that they're from. Knowing this, because there's so many casualties, basically all of the tower hunters, they actually just go ahead to either die off, or they actually use the regression stone, go back in time. But that goes in the main character. He does not want to use the regression stone. He wants to spend his time here. He wants to save humanity from the timeline that he's in. So he's just going up there. He's clearing the floors as best as he can. And that's basically all I want to tell you at this point, because there is a twist with the regression stone, with the tower, with a whole bunch of everything. You find out what's going on, and you find out very early on. I've only been reading it, I only just started reading it, and I think I'm only on chapter 9 or 10 around there right now. And even at that point, there are so many twists and turns that actually I did not see coming. So that's where I want to stop. I want to let y'all read after that. But basically that's the whole gist of it. I will say this though, it's not what y'all think. The series is so good. There's so many different twists and turns that actually take place. The basic, just brief synopsis that I gave y'all, that's just the bare bones minimum. That's probably like the first chapter, all that goes down. The first chapter or two. After that, everything just goes off crazy. You find out that the main character, he has a little bit of backstory, obviously. You find out his motive for wanting to stay in the tower and finish through his original timeline. And then you find out basically what caused the towers, what caused the regression stone, what it exactly goes on. It's a whole bunch of stuff, and I really do love this series. I really want to put you on. So that's The World After the Fall. Definitely check that one out. After that, the next series I've been reading that I'm absolutely in love with is Animata. I completely fell in love with this series. I did read the first volume online probably about a year ago at this point. So I decided to pick up everything, all 5 volumes, and it's absolutely enjoyable. Basically, if y'all don't know, Animata is very, very similar to Bakuman. And Bakuman is basically a manga series about the actual making of manga. So Animata is very similar to that. Instead of making manga, she's making anime. So she wants to become an animator, and it's in a beautiful, just nice slice of life chill story because she's actually very bad at animation. She sucks at drawing, but the reason she gets hired to basically like the studio Ghibli of animation studios in this world anyway. She basically gets hired there because she has an insane eye for detail that basically no one really has. You have to be born with that type of eye for detail. The one problem is that the head director looks at her work and he's like, "You really do suck at drawing." So he gives her all these like different tools and tasks to do to try and get her better as soon as possible because he really needs her to be a key animator at that point. Right now she's just an in-betweener, which basically means she's animating the motion. So obviously you have one frame here that the person's looking left, the other main frame where they're looking right. She's the one that draws the motion of their head actually turning from left to right. So she's the in-betweener. And basically that's her job, and she has to obviously pump out of these frames, and she is very, very terrible. I do really like that part about it, that she's not just some god crazy amazing artist. She really just loves anime. She fell in love with this studio because they made her favorite anime of all time. And even when she was watching the anime, she understood the very depths of each frame. She understood all the detail that went into it. So basically the story follows her journey to basically become the key animator. She does have obviously some trials, some tribulations because she wants to basically be good at her job. She wants to prove that she belongs in this studio, even though her work is subpar compared to everyone around her. So she's just there, just busting the ass. She's there every single day, filling up full sketchbooks in a few days, doing everything that she can to make herself better. She's absorbing all of the information she learns. She accepts all the tasks that her bosses and the directors actually give her, even though it's aside from her normal work. And I really do love it because it's a nice different take on manga, because I'll be honest, I never really knew anything about like the actual creation of anime, so this one gives a nice glimpse into that medium that obviously all of us really do love. And I love the fact that it is only 5 volumes, because this one would get a little bit boring if it just dragged on. I did finish everything and I completely fell in love with this. This is by far one of my favorite series at this point. And it doesn't hit as hard for me as Bakuman, because Bakuman was 20, so I really felt like I was invested with that one. But I highly, highly recommend Animata, because if you just like anime or you just like manga in general, I really do think you're going to enjoy this like behind the scenes type of series, because you really understand, at least get an understanding of what it takes to actually create all the anime that we love. The next series that I've been reading is a brand new series, and it's on Shonen Jump, and that's Ichi the Witch. The main character of this series is Ichi, and he is basically a homeless orphan that he just lives in the woods. And because he's been there since he was basically a baby, they left him there to fend for himself. He taught himself how to hunt, and he is probably one of the best hunters in all of the world. And in this world specifically, there are other hunters who actually hunt magic beasts. And in this world, the other hunters that hunt magic beasts, they're called witches. So I do like that aspect of it, where they're not necessarily, the witches that you know and love, all the different types of witches that you really know. All of them are just basically hunters. They hunt magic beasts. That's why they're called witches. Now, here's the catch. For this specifically, only women are able to actually wield the powers of the magic beast, because once you kill a magic beast, you actually obtain their power. So they have different powers. Some of them are like gravity, then you got the elements. You have all these different types of powers. They go and they kill all of the magic beasts, and then they obtain the powers, and that's just how they get themselves stronger. Now, in this specific situation, because there's never been a man that was able to control magic beasts and never be able to use actual magic powers, finally, this one, Ichi the Witch, he actually was able to kill a magic beast, because the particular magic beast that he was able to kill, for whatever reason, had a spell that no woman was able to kill him. And his condition for gaining his power was that only a man could kill him. So Ichi, being basically the only man that actually could kill him, ended up killing the magic beast, and he obtained the power, and he became the first male to actually become a witch. And it's a nice, amazing series. I do really love the artwork about it, and I like the different take on witches, where they're not, witch hat atelier or all these other types of witches. They're basically just normal hunters, but they're called witches because they hunt magic beasts. Now, in this world, because there are no men at all that basically are able to gain this power, when he was able to do that, it was like a shock through the entire like magic realm, through the entire witch realm, because who was he? How did he get this power? What makes him so special? No one really knows that at this point. It's a very, very new series. I think there's probably maybe, I don't even know if there's 20 chapters out right now, but I do highly, highly recommend this one. It's on Shonen Jump, and it's an amazing, beautiful series, amazing artwork. And I do love the fact that Ichi, he's just a normal hunter. He reminds me a lot of Inosuke from Demon Slayer. If y'all read that, he reminds me a lot of that. Just very feral, very canine, because he's been in the woods for so long. However, he does have his more softer side. He is not just incredible beast feral like Inosuke was. Ichi does have his sense of right and wrong. He does only protect and he does only hunt people or animals that actually hurt others. So he does have that very strong sense of justice, and it's an amazing, amazing series. I can't wait to see the direction that the series takes because it's an amazing series. I really do highly recommend it. Definitely check this one out. And the last series that I've been reading recently is Fire Force. That's right, I finally started it. I told you I was gonna do this. I finally started reading Fire Force. I think I'm on volume 5 or 6 of the omnibus at this point. So if these volumes are 3-in-1s, that tells you how far I am. So I am absolutely in love with Fire Force. Y'all know me. Y'all know how much I love Fire Force. It's by far one of my favorite animes of like the newer generation. And when I say newer generation, I mean like the generation of like Demon Slayer, My Hero, Fire Force, you know, that type of generation. I really do love Fire Force. I do think the new season is going to be animated, I think, in the winter of 2025, something like that, or something along those lines. No, I think it's coming out 2025, the first core of the final season. But I absolutely love Fire Force. It's so good. Even basically reading it from the start, because I did start reading it from volume 1. I have to say this series really does hold up. Now, a lot of y'all don't know, basically Fire Force is a prequel to Soul Eater. However, you don't have to read it as a prequel to Soul Eater. It's in standalone series. You don't find out it's a prequel until the very, very end. And at that point, basically it doesn't really matter because the series is already over and you find out it's a prequel. If I don't know what Fire Force is about, it's about these special firefighters who were trying to figure out the issue of spontaneous human combustion. And basically, all of these special fire force, which is the Fire Force, they have powers. So some of them are second generation, which allows them to control fire, and some of them are third generation, which allows them to produce fire. So the main character, he's able to produce the fire from the bottoms of his feet. And I just love the fact that all these different fire types of powers is very, very unique. It's not just simple basic like firebending that you always see in other series. All the powers are super unique. All the other powers are just incredible. And basically everything that they do around fire, what they do just concerning with the Fire Force is beautiful. I really do enjoy it. Now, there are some gripes about it. Obviously, it's not the most amazing series in the world. I know a lot of people really don't like the fan service. I personally don't mind it that much. To me, it doesn't really bother me. But I have to say, even if it didn't have the fan service, which I'll be honest, it really doesn't need. It's there, but I guess we can't really help that. It's super, super good. If y'all have not at least watched the anime, I definitely highly recommend it because the anime was beautiful. Definitely check that out. And that's it for my reading log. That's basically everything I've been reading so far recently. And definitely let me know what some series that y'all currently reading. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for making this far. If you're new here, like my content, like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, hit the bell so I don't post another video. Follow me on Twitter. Links will be in the description. This is your boy Just. I'm off this.